Getting rid of eyesores one by one. This is the most obnoxious air filter cover I've ever seen in my life. Here's the air filters coming off of there. Pretty bad. And I got these. These are the worst smelling things I've ever gotten in the mail by a long shot. They'll go on there. They'll look real nice. Got 2 of them. Bada bing. And I'm gonna go work on cleaning this up. So this should be fun. This thing's busted enough to where I'm gonna actually go ahead and try to repaint it. The paint that's on there is flaking off and this stuff's all crusty and dusty anyway, so I'm gonna just start hitting it with the wire wheel. I need a battery. I'm gonna do a little test area with lacquer thinner. Looks like this is some pretty shitty spray paint on here, so. Oh yeah, that's coming right up. Yeah, I'm just gonna use lacquer thinner, kind of scrape it, lacquer thinner, scrape it, then I'm gonna sand it. That's gonna work perfect. Do one more, I'll cover it. So it has all those vapors sitting in there. Oh yeah, we're gonna come up. It's already coming along pretty good. Going for a while. It's getting there. A couple little spots here and there to get out, but not looking too bad. If the car wasn't so rusty, I would think about just like maybe clear coating this, leaving it like this, just polished aluminum. Well, I'd polish it up more, but I think with the car having some slight rust in the engine bay, this would stick out like a sore thumb and make everything look even worse. So I'm still gonna go through and repaint all these lines, get the tiny little bits out of there, and go ahead and start sanding it down. Alright, so I just got done sanding 80, then 120. Now I'm gonna go up one more grit and then call it good. It is looking pretty dang good. This casting is not perfect, so it's never gonna look perfect, but you know what, we do what we can. So God, I almost wish I could leave it like this. And here it is. Couple hours of paint strip and sanding. Not too bad. See how this went. See how my masking job went. First impressions are not perfect, but not terrible. Better than it was no matter what. So as long as they all go bare minimum like this. There we go. Doesn't look too bad if you ask me. I've never had to mask anything off like this and paint it, so I mean, nothing intricate. So I don't think it turned out too bad. Obviously, this car is not perfect by any means, so hey, I'll take it. A ton of parts have shown up. There's a split lower radiator hose. There were all these gross orange coolant hoses. The heater core was bypassed, and it was just all janky. My thought is that the previous owner had one of those hoses split, because they're all split. Instead of replacing both of the hoses, or 3 hoses, 2 hoses? They just replaced the one going from the lower radiator hose around. I got a bunch of hose. The guy at the auto parts store was really weird. Told his female coworker that she looks like shit every day when she comes in. But first thing I want to do is get this valve cover off and go ahead and start getting this cleaned up. So I already got the bolts out. Go ahead and plop this baby off. It's looking pretty rusty and crusty, so we'll see what we can do. Hopefully I can clean it up pretty good. Oh yeah, tons of rust. So I'm gonna just do this for a while and we'll see how it goes. Oh, wow. That didn't turn out too bad. That was about 4 or 5 days of wire wheel, but geez, that came out good. Obviously kidding. Getting rid of the old crusty for a nice chromed out one. Let's get this bad boy slapped on. I'm excited to see how this looks. Bad boy will just go on right like that. Got a new gasket. It's looking dang good already. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the new air filters and cover on. See what this thing's gonna look like all freshened up. If anyone knows of an easy way to do this, please let me know. This is the most pain in the ass air filters I've ever installed on anything. I honestly have no idea how it's intended to work. You got these. Oh, my cat just ripped my AC out of the wall, so I gotta go deal with that real quick. You have to somehow hold all of this together while you fit the air filter over that. And then you have to get these that sandwich the air filter into there, kind of smashed into the air filter a bit. After you do all that, then you gotta flip this somehow, holding everything together all at once to get it all put on at the exact same time. That at least is the only way I've found it to be doable. If there's an easier way, I would love to know, because this is just a nightmare. I'm gonna plumb all this stuff up, and then we'll go ahead and take a final look. This is a very minor example of the snowball effect to me, but I still thought it was worth sharing. This whole thing and many projects in life, you go through them and you work on the thing you think you're working on, and you find a million other things wrong along the way. That has been this entire project. And it's just small stuff like this. This little rubber cap was completely cracked and already open. So this is a good thing. I'm not complaining about this one, because if that was already cracked and open like that, then it was already causing issues. I would have never found that on my own. So I replaced it, and bada bing. Hard work is paying off. There's still an ungodly amount of work to be done in this engine bay to clean it up. Obviously, blowing it all out, pressure washing, like this isn't even rust, this is paint underneath there. Once I get everything actually cleaned up in here, like polish these up, get all this crust and rust and dust off of everything, gosh dang, it's coming along. After this, I'm closing the hood and going full cosmetic. Getting this thing looking dialed in, because the engine bay is coming along good, so that means interior, exterior needs to come along just as well. If it runs, it's good. I'll tune it later, no big deal. I can't even drive it right now. Yeah, not for another 2 months do I get my boot off. So in the meantime, I have plenty of time to get this thing looking really good. We're moving on to the outside and inside, but we'll get there. We'll get to the inside after the outside, because the outside is gonna blow into the inside, and what we're dealing with now is we got sap. We got sap everywhere, which sucks. But what sucks even worse is back in my car detailing days, I used to be a professional detailer, we used to use just a tiny amount of lacquer thinner, just centralize it right on top of the sap, and it'd pretty much wipe it right out. The unfortunate thing is these older cars, they used single stage paint. So lacquer thinner, not ideal on single stage paint. Can damage the paint, really don't want to do that. So I'm gonna try to use isopropyl. I've never done it before because I've never needed to, but the internet, and the internet's always right, everyone knows that, says just use a little isopropyl and dab it onto there, and we'll see if this works. Okay. I'm not worried about leaving tiny little scratches in the paint, because I'm gonna go through and buff this paint as it has seen better days, but this seems to be working. So now I just have to do this about 300 times. Yeah, this is working pretty good. I'm actually surprised. Pleasantly surprised. This is not going to be very exciting, so I'm just going to go ahead and do all this sap. That came out looking surprisingly good for how much sap was on this thing. So now I just have to go through. I'm going to clay bar the entire thing, I've got all these tiny little buffer pads because with my last MG, I tried to get in here with a regular buffer and it's just, it's really difficult. So time to get freaking working on this thing. It's gonna be a lot, but it's not gonna do itself, so I can't just sit here and stare at it. This goes deeper than I thought. It is completely full, both sides. I wish my hands could fit in there. It'd be a lot easier. All right, side quest number 345 done. Time to clay bar the whole car. Why would anything have to be easy with this car? The previous owner just set me up for failure in every single way. So there's these nuts that go through, obviously to keep this on. Of course I need to take it off to be able to buff the trunk, but they put like RTV over every single one of these. And they just drilled through this and they put even through there some RTV. Oh, nice, now it just fell in, so that's there forever. There we go, got it off. New side quest unlocked. One of the bolts snapped. After that, I'll finish clay bar and start buffing. This is just after a light buff and polish. You'd have to be a blind dog to not see the imperfections, I think. It's clearly not perfect. I think that would stand out a lot more in the sun, but doesn't look bad at all. These cars polish up nice, the single stage paint on these cars. Like I showed before, it's been repainted in quite a few spots, so it looks kind of funky, especially on the doors and stuff. There's obviously a couple major scratches. There's some spots I had a hard time getting to, being on one foot. The trunk has some weird discoloration to it. I think to get this thing looking 100% correct on the exterior would take painting the whole car. I'm actually someone who likes patina. I would actually hate if this thing looked 100% mint, because then if it got scratched, I would cry. So I don't hate it. I think it's cool. It adds character. It makes me want to drive it and not care. I don't want it to look as busted as it did, but I don't want it to look terrible. Now to get cracking on the inside. The inside should be a lot faster. I've spent more time trying to get the damn pine needles out of this car than literally anything else. And every time I spray it out from that hood cowl vent, more and more pine needles come out. Every time I think I'm done, more pine needles come out. So I started with cleaning under here, got all the pine needles out. Cleaned up there, thought I got all the pine needles out, and now I'm back down here, and now more are coming out. And then I spray up there, and more come out, and spray up there. It's a never-ending cycle. This thing has about an entire pine tree's worth of needles in it. And I thought the inside was gonna be easy. Found a receipt here under the seat for Muser's Markets, Quarryville, Pennsylvania. Oh shit, 2008. They got some Utz chips, one bag for $2.49. T-bone steak for $21, damn. Oh no, $16 because they saved $5, nice. Lettuce for $1.66, red peppers, tomato. Save 50% off plus tax, and oil change. Oh, it just expired. It's July 20th right now. Damn. It's also almost 20 years later, but no, that's cool. 2008 receipt underneath the seat. it's time. Putting the new windshield trim in. And boy oh boy, is this as hard as everyone made it out to be. I thought I'd be able to just slide it right in the track all the way down if I got enough lube. Had 2 people, 1 person pulling, 1 person pushing. I freaking filled this thing with lube. Not enough. People online say just go freaking 1/8 of an inch by 1/8 of an inch. Or 1/4 inch or something, I don't know. Just push it in the track. God dang, it's not easy. Someone said it took them 2.5 hours, so, but I got nothing but time, so. Good God, that took quite a while. 2 days of frustration. I gave up yesterday after trying to do the slide along the whole thing. And then I tried that again today. I freaking put motor oil all over everything, which should be fine. It's rubber. And that didn't work. I thought it would just freaking, but it didn't. So I did the technique where you just go freaking millimeter by millimeter, squishing it in. I went ahead and bent one of my screwdrivers so that I could freaking hook it in there, kind of like what you would use for getting a tire into a rim. And it went pretty smooth. Honestly, it was not that bad going through. Once I figured it out, yes, I tried it yesterday, could not figure it out for the life of me, but I was like, it's either I figure this out or I am screwed. So, figured it out. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end off the video there. I want to thank everyone for watching. If you want to see more of this blue MGB restoration project I got going on, please subscribe, like the video, do all those things. There's still a lot of work to be done on this car. I've been pretty sporadic about filming due to me being on 1 foot, but I should be back walking here soon. Just a couple more weeks. It's been a couple months at this point I haven't been able to walk, so really looking forward to that. And once I get to that point, I'll be able to ramp up the filming on this thing and show more of what I'm doing. Just, it's such a pain in the ass to film and work on 1 foot. It's simple as that. But thanks for sticking around and watching this far, and yeah, see you in the next video.